I want to talk about, let's say, creative living with liveliness, making the right judgment without much delusion. In other words, awakened life. See if I can say in few minutes. I have used the word Samadhi, calm and quiet mind. And I see the Samadhi is the base of how to use our mind to navigate our life. And for that, we have to make the best judgment, which one to choose out of the options, including not choosing is an option. So that's a judgment. Also, Samadhi is like ground where the tree grows and the branches comes out. Why I have that image? Because we are a living being, and for us to live, there's energy. And let's not talk about where the energy comes, but that's the law of nature if I just use the word, because that's how we are put on this earth, including the plants and animals, and so on and so forth. So we are created, not just being created, not just be created, but being created. And just like a bicycle, if you cut off the heart or the creating source, laws of nature to put us on earth, then there's nothing more. As simple as that. So our life is like a tree, ground, energy, nutrition sucked up and distributed, and making a judgment. So if you think about the branches, all the branches making their own judgment, not the center, but all the elements working together. Certain branch may have more sun, others may have shade or too windy. So tree figure out how to distribute the nutrition, energy, and make a choice continuously. And that's how they live. So if you use that analogy as how we use our mind, it's the same thing. And if you have nothing to worry, maybe you come up with a judgment, well, which way to go? If you have suffering, maybe you're focusing on what is the cause of suffering, how to find the energy to focus on that. So the judgment always takes place for living being. So the Samadhi, again, is the state, because the mind, your mind is calm and quiet, not thinking, not using unnecessary judgment. So if you have the delusionary thought, the key is stop doing it, to say no. That's the judgment, but that's a catch-22. If you're already into the delusion, you maybe get stuck. But if you develop this sense of Samadhi, calm and quiet mind, that is the space you can get back to realize, there's something wrong. My energy is getting into nowhere. I feel sadness or suffering. Better do something. So when you notice that, and that's also the judgment that you notice and take action, what is as the base is Samadhi. Again, the state that we were brought on this earth with that creative energy. And I use the term heart, connecting to your heart, not just caught up in the mind. Mind is branches, this thought, this confusion, this every which direction. So far as you're entangled or connected or confused in it, you're not making judgment. So you have to have some base. So you have to learn how to be calm and quiet. Actually, when you're born, you are calm and quiet in your mind. And what I see could have happened is that because of listening to your parents and friends, you learn skills. Some are good, not all are good because they have their twisted way of using their mind, possibly. But you don't have any choice. So it's kind of like a branches that you develop. But eventually you start to see this branch is not going anywhere if you have that samadhi. So you stop throwing more energy into it. Again, the samadhi is critical so that the branch is better balanced, not just listening to someone's word or the mind habit developed and just go for it. Because something is choking your energy to process and you start to feel it. Again, it's catch-22. You have to have the sense. If you don't have the sense, you're very sad. It's really sad. And I can talk about my sad situation, like just briefly, sitting long time in meditating, and I had a pain. I tried to escape because that's all I knew. 8th day in the afternoon, I want to go to the hospital. It's too hurting. Then I thought, is it because I'm trying to escape? So that was the moment. Maybe the samadhi was there or behind it to come up with a new option that I didn't think at the time because I was just trying to escape. But as soon as I thought, is it because I'm trying to escape? I had a shift of consciousness. I still remember. That's 24 years ago. And then awakening happened. Energy is distributed into the right direction, not wasting. And I had the energy flowing from my base chakra and shaking and ecstasy, blissful sensation. The barrier was gone. I didn't make the judgment. The life energy found a way to open up. But my mind may have helped at the time of even the question. But why I question, I don't know. Because that's also a judgmental thing that happened after exhausting the options. So anyway, that's the kind of a tree analogy, energy, nutrition, distribution, finding the passage, and how to navigate the life, making a good judgment. I want to touch on the AI analogy of this. But essentially, I see it the same way. AI has all the accumulated memories, knowledge, like in the brain, not in the surface level, but all deep into unconscious part in our analogy of ourselves. But they can choose what could be the right combination so that the energy can be distributed with most potential outcome. So again, I see the AI is like a tree analogy I was talking about, which is, okay, there are lots of options, which one to choose. Because of the constraint and the past memories of what went right and wrong, if you have a clarity in your mind to access those information instead of just tied up with only certain direction with idea, it can come up with better options so that AI is to search for that, like a tree branches analogy, which one is most meaningful or potentially meeting the less of a constraint. So that's how they come up. So I see the same, so that the neural passage is found, or it could be a combination, this and that. But out of that, because of the potential, each step of the way, tree is growing, and at certain point, that's the new step with more information related to what you have focused an approach to that state. So that creative energy, root in the tree analogy, or in my case, chakra and liveliness. In the AI case, power distribution, to find the least resistance, to find the option to come up with the answer. So ChatGPT or Gemini, they are basically living in terms of better use of energy for the better outcome. So if you remember what I said, the basis is Samadhi. Because only when there's no bias but openness, we can assess the situation better. So state of Samadhi as the base is the foundation I see me living, and I'm doing more and more and more. At the beginning, only this much, and I start to realize it's like a tree growing. Okay, working. So I spend more time. So in a way, it looks like I'm stupid or ignorant. But it may be disguised because when you're in a meditative state, you're not doing anything, right? It's no thinking. But the thinking comes on its own. So the setting is important. Good thinking to come, option is the next step. And as you move in that thinking, then go another level of branches, and you keep focusing on it. So what is in the past that you thought is not as important? It's not actually important, but because you're focusing on this new state, time passes, idea pops up, word pops up. Let me think about it. And then you again get into the Samadhi of no thinking. So thinking happens on its own, but sometimes thinking happens on its own to be hallucination in AI analogy, or delusion in human, my case or your case. So then you start to see the energy level is going down and you don't go much. And that's the sensitivity that we have to have with the Samadhi to see that. In case of Vipassana, it's a biological thing, being we are living. So if you're detecting the liveliness of how you live, that's the critical thing. It's like a meter telling you you're not going anywhere. You're hitting your head onto the wall. You better get back to Samadhi, right? And then, since you are calm and quiet, you're not as occupied. You're not deluded. You are at the neutral space of, okay, what do I do now? Not thinking in the past, not thinking into the future, but just like idiot, just wait, no thinking. And then the thinking, the idea may come, or awakening may take place. Oh, that was useless. Something like that. Oh, here's a great idea. Or you feel more connected to other person. So you become livelier and livelier. There may be a time, obviously, you are still digging into some of the past, and sometimes thoughts pop up. So you practice Samadhi and then settle it, and you move on. So what I said is that do not think when it's not unnecessary, but think when it's needed, or be in Samadhi, because that's always needed, so that you can keep on with the process to be in Samadhi, ideas, and Samadhi, ideas, Samadhi, delusion, Samadhi, nothing, and another Samadhi, and what to do. So I think it's very simple if you get the hang of it. It's finding the lively path that you feel energized of all the things considered. There's a saying about this point, which is like being liberated, being in the now and making the choice without any attachment. It's a Diamond Sutra. I think this is my translation. I said it elsewhere already, but it's like this. Without abiding anywhere, mind moves or develops is maybe a better way if you think about this branch analogy. But without abiding anywhere, open, like an idiot. Maybe not a good idea. Maybe you want to be something more than idiot, but that's the possibility of the problem, that you want to be someone. But what I'm saying is, don't think about it. Just relax, do nothing, Samadhi. Then the life energy may pop up. This is the direction. And you can have fun and feel lively, and that is also connected to the laws of universe. You feel energized. Maybe things change, but you go through the same process. So what I say is that, like when you realize a new idea, like an aha moment, or deeper level of awakening, you feel it biologically in your body, energy level, liveliness. I call it waku waku. I said it in the other video. That is the indicator of how alive we are, that we can feel if we are open to it with that gauge of aliveness, the body sensation. I feel quite often transparent, no barrier, light, liberated. To me, that's the state of liberation, free state, no ego, open view of what this is about, and connecting to the heart, and find the passage, and keep finding and moving on, liberated. Have a good life. Thank you.